All right, so this one's kind of easy. This week on That Just Happened, Trap from Blackbraid. You got this one. It's easy. Yeah, this is the reviews for lazy people-ish. I don't know if being a one-man show could be considered
That's a fun one, right? And remember, that's all made by one person.
lazy, but yeah, it's gonna be a short one too. We only got 3 things to talk about. One of those is a brand new song. We got the new song from Blackbraid. It was in the most recent episode of the news. I wanted to talk about it again just because there is something different about this brand of black metal. Obviously, there's the aesthetic differences because he is native and generally black metal is put out by Norwegian-looking dudes. So that's a pretty interesting difference. But like, just sonically too, there's so much in the way of dynamics and stuff that I've never heard that kind of sonics coming from black metal, and like the production level, and I've never heard the original Abath song that he's covering, so I don't have the frame of reference, or Abath maybe. I've never heard the original. I don't have the frame of reference. But I really just dig the style that Blackbraid does. So I don't know, it's just something that I feel like as much as I can do to raise the profile, raise the awareness of this band, of this artist, the better. So definitely go check out the new Blackbraid cover. The name of the song is Warriors. It's an Abath cover, and just the first 2 records even. If you haven't listened to Blackbraid 1 and Blackbraid 2, you owe it to yourself. So yeah, then from Season 2, we have Season 3 coming September 22nd. September 22nd? Really? Oh wow, that's a month away. So September 22nd, we have Season 3. I just finished Season 2 and I still have no idea. Like I'm very, I don't know, I'm interested to see what the rest of the fan base has to say about it, but I'm kind of cautious to not watch any of their theories because I want to try and put one together on my own before I watch somebody else's ideas, so I let their ideas infect my brain. But like, I still don't know. The Eaters, I have learned that is what the demons are referred to in the community. They're referred to as the Eaters. If you haven't seen From, the basic idea of the show is it's a very small town that is in the middle of hell. All these people who are from different parts of the country, it doesn't seem like anyone is from outside of the United States, but they're all from different parts of the country. They all end up in this town through some sort of strange dark magic. They all encounter a fallen tree in the road. They move the tree, they drive past, they drive into this town, and then they can never leave. If they continue driving on the road that goes out of town, then they just loop back, unbeknownst to them, back into town. There's no way out of that loop. So as of the end of Season 2, oh, and then also, like I said, there's demons that are called the Eaters. Why are they called the Eaters? Because they eat the people. If you're out after dark in this little town, there are all of these other people-looking creatures, and they don't all look like people, especially once you see them when they don't have their masks on, effectively, is how it works. But if you're outside after dark, then these creatures will literally tear you apart, and it's very gory and it's very satisfying if you're into that kind of thing. And so they're trying to figure out exactly why they're there, how they got there, and how they get out. That's basically the gist of the series. Is they're in this really scary place. For some reason, the houses in the town have power, even though the power lines go nowhere. And for some reason, they always have food. They're given livestock and chickens and stuff, and they have clean water, so they're being taken care of in a certain way and also being fed to these creatures in another way. So very weird. And again, by the end of Season 2, you still have no idea what's going on. I believe I read somewhere that the end of Season 3 is going to be the last of this series, so it all should wrap up by the end of the next season. But that's still, you're still looking at 10 episodes, 10 weeks of stuff starting in September. That's a bit of a ways out. I still haven't put in the notes for this. Every time we talk about it, I say I'm going to do it, and I still haven't done it. The name of the lead actor, again, he was in Oz, he was in Romeo plus Juliet, he was in the Matrix franchise. Just a really good actor, and you're going to recognize him. You're going to recognize a couple of the people in this, but he's kind of the most recognizable. I can't gush about this any more than I already have, because if you haven't started watching it, then maybe you don't like horror. But this, I think, is some of the best horror that we've gotten in some time. Like, it's not quite to the level of Haunting of Hill House, but I would definitely put it in the same ballpark as Haunting of Hill House. This is, like, every episode is an anxiety attack in the best kind of way. Like, I don't want it to stop. I want to keep going till we get to the end of the mystery, or just find a way to kill the monsters, or something, some sort of catharsis to finally release all of that anxiety. Yeah, definitely go watch from season 2. It's worth your time. And then Trap. Okay, so I watched Trap literally right before I came to film. M. Night Shyamalan, I am not a fan of M. Night Shyamalan. Outside of Lady in the Water, Unbreakable, and Sixth Sense, and even Lady in the Water is super weak as well, but outside of those three, I had an appreciation for those three movies. Mostly Sixth Sense and Unbreakable. Everything, oh, and Split, I guess, is also good. But Split, I think, is good in spite of itself, because James McAvoy is just fantastic. Anyway, so M. Night Shyamalan somehow keeps getting work. This movie is an example of how nothing actually works in the real world. The premise is our main character is not so secretly a murderer, and he is keeping his murderous life separate from his regular life, and it is the two of them are about to combine very, very quickly if he can't find a way out of it. The reason they're about to combine is he took his daughter to a concert, and it's her favorite artist. The artist actually played by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. I don't know if she's the younger one or the older one, but daughter, that is his daughter. She is apparently legitimately a singer too. But he took his daughter, our character, took his daughter to this concert. It's her favorite artist, and somehow there was a tip off to the feds that he was going to be there. So let's unpack that bit right there. First of all, you learn fairly early in the movie, so it's not really a spoiler, but there are going to be some spoilers. This is your warning. First of all, your receipt for the concert is not going to be paper, and hasn't been for close to a decade at this point. Like, it's just not, there's not going to be any identifying information if you print out the screen that gives you your receipt for the show. If you print that out, there's not going to be any identifying information for you as far as who you are as a person, and definitely not anything that's going to, like, link you. If it was found at the scene of something, like, they would dismiss it because there's no actual information there aside from the concert. Like, I don't know, that is the most solid information that they can give you, and that is a bit of a stretch. So that's not how that works. Also, when they're at the concert in this movie, like, who goes to concerts like that? You don't go out into the merch area while your favorite artist is on stage. You don't leave the performance area between songs to go get food or whatever the hell they're doing. Like, that's just, you go between acts, you go between artists, you don't go between songs. Granted, I have never been to a pop show, so maybe there are some costume changes that would warrant, real quick, if there's one of those, salted nuts or the candied nuts or whatever right outside of your little portal into the outside. It's right there, and you can go get it and be back in 5 minutes. Maybe that would be, but that's not the way it's sold in this movie. So that's not the way that happens. Just all of the incredible coincidences. Like, M. Night Shyamalan he writes his movies in such an incredulous way that there are all of these really crazy coincidences that in the real world, like, there is suspension of disbelief, and then there's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Like, he hasn't fully given us anything to properly suspend our disbelief since Sixth Sense. Like, that movie did all of the things perfectly, in my opinion, as far as like the first viewing. I haven't really gone back to watch it recently, so like the perfect thing might be a little bit overblown, but I feel like he's been trying to do that ever since and failing to do that, but still he gets work. He gets people to go see his stuff and to give him money to make new stuff, and oh my god. So we're at the concert. That's not how concerts work. That's not how anyone goes to a concert. There was another thing. It's just, there's so much about this. Like, I can't. I'm glad I didn't pay money for it. We're just gonna put that there. Like, the trap. If you're an M. Night Shyamalan fan, this is not even. I can't even say that. If you're an M. Night Shyamalan fan, you'll have an appreciation for this. But I think even you will look at this and go, that's one of his weaker movies. Like, this is on the level of, I can't even remember the name of the movie now. The movie where he combines the Split characters with the Unbreakable characters. I don't remember what it's called now. But that movie, how that one was just kind of trash all over. This one is on the same level as that. Like, it's not very good. And I think even his fans will say, yeah, that was not a very good movie. The old one, or whatever, the one on the beach where they get old really fast, that one was a stronger movie than this, and that one was so freaking transparent, it's not even funny. So, I don't know, I just, Josh Hartnett, I saw an interview with him recently where he's talking about how he's always wanted to work with M. Night, and he thinks M. Night is such a fantastic movie maker, and I don't see it. I don't understand. Maybe, I mean, like, cinematography-wise, sure, it was fine. Like, there's nothing to really critique there, but there's more to a movie than just the cinematography. I know we talked about Longlegs last week and how the cinematography in that is the reason to watch it, but it's also engaging. Just because it's transparent doesn't mean it's not engaging. This movie is barely that even. Like, it's not, like, you really appreciate the scenes with his daughter and some of the stuff later in the movie. Then there's another twist and another twist, and it's like, oh my god, just be done already. You can really appreciate the things that he does as a father for his daughter. You really appreciate those scenes with his daughter, but they are definitely not enough to make up for the rest of this movie, because wow, just not great. Okay, so I think that's where we're gonna end this episode of That Just Happened. Thank you very much, nerds, for joining me. What just happened for you as far as this coming week? Oh, I know I said we were gonna be watching the Caped Crusader series this week. Did not happen. We should be getting to it this coming week, so that's up on the docket still. And otherwise, nothing super planned until Beetlejuice. We might have Alien Romulus to talk about next week. I don't know if I'm going to see that or not, but as far as theaters go, I'll definitely see it eventually, but I don't know if I'll see it while it's in theaters. So we might talk about that, but I'm going to try and get to the Caped Crusader. That's what's happening soon for me. What is happening soon for you? What did you interact with this week, art-wise, music, movies, comics, books, whatever? Let's have TV shows. Let's talk about that. Also, Kite Man. I think we'll probably end up watching Kite Man this week. Yeah, so let's talk about that stuff in the comment section. Let me know how it goes. Until we get to that point, though, thank you very much for joining me, nerds. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here, and that just happened.